The story of the Pilgrims sailing across the Atlantic Ocean in the Mayflower is a staple of elementary history classes in the United States. The Pilgrims, also known as Separatists, left England during the reign of King James VI and I, fleeing religious persecution. They landed at Plymouth Rock in what is now the state of Massachusetts, and the rest is history. So, why are we talking about a historical event on an astronomy channel? Because of the way that the Pilgrims made their decision to leave for the New World. Let me explain. We need to start all the way back in the 1530s with Henry VIII. Geez, you might say, everything goes back to Henry VIII. You may have a point. Anyway, Henry was desperate for a son and heir, but his wife, Catherine of Aragon, was no longer producing children. Enter Anne Boleyn, stage right. In an effort to rid himself of his first wife and move on to the younger and hopefully more fertile Anne, Henry established the Church of England and separated his country from the Roman Catholic Church. This great matter created problems as some people grew dissatisfied with the Anglican Church. Some, like the Puritans, wanted to purify the Church but still remain members. Others wanted to separate entirely, hence the name Separatists. They moved around the English countryside for a time before heading to the Netherlands around 1607 and living in Leiden, Holland, which was under Spanish rule at the time. The Netherlands, however, was a land whose culture and language were difficult for the Englishmen to understand. 10 years after their arrival, the Pilgrims were becoming discontented with life in Leiden. According to writings by Edward Winslow, work was difficult to find, leading younger members to leave to seek employment elsewhere. Additionally, they found the Dutch political situation to be unstable, as England had recently made a truce with Spanish Holland that outlawed the separatist religion. Alarmingly, the Pilgrims also found that their children were becoming more and more Dutch as the years passed. Pilgrim leader William Bradford wrote that the children of the group were being, quote, drawn away by evil examples into extravagance and dangerous courses. Still they lingered, however, their hesitation made worse by the reports of a wild land and failed colonies. So what changed their mind? Enter the Great Comet of 1618. As you can see in this series of images dating from that time, the comet was cause of much alarm across the area. As we have discussed previously on this channel, comets were widely viewed as a portent of doom, foretelling the deaths of kings and signaling regime changes. In the words of Volkmar Hoppe in 1619, quote, on November 3rd, 1618, a terrible comet appeared in the sky, which was visible for the next month and even into the following year, for after it war, rebellion, bloodshed, pestilence, famine, and unspeakable misfortune followed all over the world. No terrible comet is seen that does not bring great misfortune with it. There were, in fact, 3 comets visible to the naked eye that year. By the time of the third comet, the 30 Years' War was underway, and one can only imagine the desperation among the people of the Leiden congregation. The decision was swiftly made to seek a charter that would allow them to immigrate to the New World. Back in England, King James was conscious of his people's reaction to the comet, writing that, quote, you men of Britain, wherefore gaze ye so upon an angry star, when, as you know, the sun shall turn to darkness, the moon to blood, and then 'twill be too late for to turn good. Oh, be so happy then while time doth last, as to remember doomsday is not past, and misinterpret not with vain conceit the character you see on heaven's gate, which though it bring the world some news from fate, the letters such as no man can translate, and for to guess at God's almighty mind, where such a thing might cozen all mankind, wherefore I wish the curious man to keep his rash imaginations till he sleep. Then let him dream of famine, plague, and war, and think the match with Spain hath caused this star. Or let them think that their prince, their my minion, will shortly change, or which is worse, religion, and that he may have nothing else to fear. Let him walk Paul's and meet the devils there, and if he be a Puritan and scapes Jesuits, salute them in their proper shapes. These jealousies I would not have a treason in him whose fancy overrules his reason. Yet to be sure it did no harm, 'twere fit he would be bold to pray for no more wit, but only to conceal his dream, for there be those that will believe what he dares fear. Notice the references to the war and to various religious groups. Perhaps the Pilgrims noticed these as well, and when combined with the clear warning from the heavens, hastily departed for the faraway shores. So what do you think? Did you know that the Pilgrims were influenced by a comet to leave Europe? What other historical decisions do you know of that were prompted by a blazing star across the sky? Let us know in the comments below. As always, we are interested in reading your thoughts. Catch you next time on Hidden in the Stars.